Hello everyone, this is Jack. Well, in this video we are planting 500 fruit trees. But first we are setting up our drip irrigation system. So I'm running all the lines, the 3-inch pipe and 2-inch pipe, all the way down to the front of our property to set up the irrigation system. And then we're going to be planting fruit trees. So I have friends that are helping me set up the drip irrigation system. My mentor Ben is helping me dig the trenches and put in the pipes, and I have a couple of friends that are coming in to help me glue the pipes in. And I got a few quotes from some companies and they were charging $16,000 to actually set up this irrigation system. One of the companies were charging $12,000, so that was the lowest quote I had. However, all of the things, everything combined comes out to be about $5,000. So it's $3,500 worth of pipe and all the fittings and everything combined is about $5,000. And renting the trencher and some of the equipment is going to come out to be $5,500. So I'm going to save quite a bit of money doing it myself. And I did all the calculations. I studied physics in my engineering program, so I knew all the formulas for calculating PSI, flow rate. So everything's all set, and to plant the fruit trees I contracted with labor contractor to help me come plant the fruit trees as well. So let's get started. All the pipe has been delivered. I got a 4-inch pipe, 3-inch pipe and a 2-inch pipe. The 4-inch is 700 feet, 3-inch is 1,000 foot, and the 2-inch pipe is 2,500 feet. Total cost $3,500. Got 15 rolls of drip tube. Each roll is 1,000 foot. I'm going to run a 3-inch main line, and off of the 3-inch main line I'm going to run 2-inch lateral lines which will hook up into my drip tubes. So notice with the trencher it's very hard to go in a straight line. The trencher goes like this. I actually even put flags to aim for, but still along the way trencher is wiggling around. So I'm going to have a clear point of view and then drive my Kubota on that path with a little shovel at the end on the 3-point. I'm going to make a little divot in the ground so I can follow it with my trencher. So I got on my little Kubota and marked the ground for the trencher. Then I rented the trencher and followed the lines to put trenches in the ground. After putting in the trenches, we started to lay down the PVC pipe. All the PVC pipe has been laid, and now it's time to glue the PVC pipe and put the pipe into the trenches. All right, push turn, push turn, push turn, push turn, push turn. Okay, good. All right, push turn, push turn. Okay, got it. So these pieces go really quickly. They're 20 feet in length. So if you do one a minute, you can do 200 feet in 10 minutes. So don't be, good, push turn. So don't be intimidated by the vast size of this. It's easy to do. So this is the T that I'm using, which is going to be feeding the valves. The 3-inch pipe comes in this way, goes out that way, and the 2-inch riser pipe feeds the valves. Now let's put that in there. Turn, push and turn. All the way. Okay, that's good. All right. So the riser with the T is in. Now we're going to connect the 3-inch pipe with this T to make a continuous flow. Push, turn. All right. All the way. Oh, there you go. All right, it's a continuous piece now. You twist it? Yep. All right. Yeah, it's all the way in. All right, go on. wells are in. All right, bring it. All right, good. So I got my valves done. I got a T here, it's a 3-inch T which connects to a 3-inch pipe which is going to connect to a pump which is going to feed off of the pond. Then I got my 4 valves. These 3 valves are going to feed my trees, my vegetable garden, blueberries, raspberries, and this valve is just for feeding like the animals, like filling up a tub. At least just gonna use it like a faucet. And then I have a 3-inch cap here, just in case I need to run more 3-inch pipe. I can cut it there and keep going. All right, it's time to put the pipe in the trench. Okay, so all the pipe is in, and now I'm putting in the risers. So I'm using this drill bit to punch holes in the PVC pipe. There you go. Next I have the saddle. This is a saddle I'm putting on top of the hole, and I already put glue in there. Hold it in there for a little while so the glue dries up pretty well. Next I have a riser pipe which I'm going to attach on top of the saddle. So here's the end of the pipe, and here's the last riser with the swivel. So I have the saddle, the riser pipe, I have the valve, then I have the swivels in both directions so I can run 2 drip lines in each way. All right, so all of the pipe is in, and now I need to cap the end. Now before I cap the end, I need to flush my line to get all the dirt out of there. Otherwise I'll have dirt in my drip lines. So I have all the saddles in place, all my riser pipe in place, my valves in place, my swivels in place, all of these are in place. And I shut down my valves as well, because I don't want to have water coming out of each of these swivels right down the pipe and have water all over the pipe. Then I wouldn't know whether the leak is coming out from a saddle or from any of the joints. I want to be able to see if there are any leaks in the pipe or not. And also I put all of this apparatus on these shovels because I don't want water rushing back into the trench. It'll be hard for me to tell whether there's a leak or not as well. So I put it in a way that all the water drains out away from the trench. So let's get on with it. Let's turn on the water and flush this pipe. Okay, before I turn the water on, I turn the valve on. I need to know whether there's water coming out of this pipe and how much water is coming out of this pipe. So the guys that were helping me, they've gone home. The sun is setting. My wife is still at work. She's a nurse. She has been working a lot. And tomorrow we need to plant the trees and run the drip line. So I need to have a cap on here today. I need to get it finished today. So for that, I actually set up my drone right on this box, and I can look through my phone that's attached to this controller when I turn on the valve whether there's water coming out of it or not. So you can see right there that I can actually clearly see the pipe, and then when I turn the water on, whether the water comes out of this pipe or not. All right, moment of truth. I've already turned on the water from the back. Now it's time to turn on the valve. There you go. The water is flowing. All right, so there's absolutely no water coming out of right now. The pipe is probably still filling in. So let's see how long that takes. Here you go. I think you can see. Let's see when the water comes on. Okay, so we've been waiting 2 minutes now, and there's water. There's water. Check it out. There was some. Check it out. The water is coming out. The first water in the irrigation pipe is coming out, and the water is crystal clear. All right, I'm back at the end of the pipe, and look at all the water that came out of the pipe as well. And now it's time to cap the pipe. Full coverage, and then there you go. Cap the pipe. All right, so all the irrigation system is set. The only thing that's remaining is to hook up the drip lines to each one of the swivels on each one of the rows. We first need to plant the trees and then set the drip line, because we'll be driving around, we'll be putting compost in, we'll have pickup trucks delivering trees and all that stuff. And I don't want to be breaking my drip lines or cutting my drip lines. And I don't want drip lines to be in the way of planting trees either. So as soon as we plant the trees, we're going to be installing the drip lines. So I made this pipe which is 14 feet in length, and I put 2 L brackets on the end. This measures the spacing between the trees exactly. The holes are being dug as well. These are some really decent sized holes, because I want to add a lot of compost inside and around the hole as well, so that the plant has a lot of nitrogen to feed on. So we're using the truck to haul compost, and I have one of the guys shoveling compost out of the truck and putting it into the holes. Alright, today is the day. Today we are planting 500 fruit trees. We are planting cherries, apricots, nectarines, peach and plum trees, and it's going to be absolutely fabulous. All of these trees are from Dave Wilson Nursery, and they helped us a lot to pick the right varieties of fruit trees that produce fruit all throughout the season. We are actually staggering different varieties all throughout spring and summer, so we have continuous harvest. So the berms have been made and the holes have been dug, and I've already added compost in the holes as well. Actually, I contracted with a labor contractor, and they sent the guys over to put the compost in and dig the holes. The economy of scale on this, planting these amount of fruit trees is hard to comprehend, because I was doing some calculations. If I dig a hole every 10 minutes, it'll take 80 hours to dig 500 holes. If we take 5 minutes per hole to add compost and mix it in, it will take 40 hours to add and mix compost in 500 holes. So I had to get help from a labor contractor to help me do all of that, because otherwise it takes way too long. So 4 to 5 guys have been working every single day, and we have been planting. Actually, we've been digging holes and adding compost. And today is the day that we are going to take these trees and plant them in the ground. However, before we do that, the first step is to mark every single tree, which trees goes in which row, because I don't want the guys that are working in the field to get confused or plant the wrong tree in the wrong row, because they all go depending on the variety and the season. So these are the cherries right here. So we are going to first start off with the early season cherries, and as the rows progress, we're going to have different varieties of cherries planted in different rows. So I'm going to mark every single tree. Not every single tree. I'm going to mark a collection of 10 to 20 trees, put them in a bucket, mark the bucket that this bucket belongs to row number 1, this bucket belongs to row number 2, and then set it in the field so those guys can start planting. So our first bucket, I'm going to put the sticker on, and this is going to be number 1. This is going to go in the first row. All right, it's time to start bringing out the trees. I already have compost in my white Ford F-150, and my mentor Ben is already using his trailer to water the holes with the tank. So I don't have anything else but my 1964 truck to transport these trees. All right, the trees are going in. Then I put water on there. I first loaded the trees and then I'm putting the water in later so I don't have to carry a heavy bucket. So I got my first and second row ready to go. I've been bringing trees and Guy has been planting as fast as he can bring these out. I don't want to bring out all of these trees all at once because they might dry out. And I have these big 4 trash cans in the back of my truck that I fill with water, put the trees for about 3 to 4 rows, and then bring them over and start planting. So as soon as they are close to finishing the row, I go grab another batch. So we have a 250-gallon tank right here that we put in the back of my Ford F-150. We keep filling 5-gallon buckets. We put a bucket of water in the hole, mix it in, put the tree in, fill it with dirt, and then the water rises and fills in the soil as well. All right, so the water goes in. There you go. Yeah. So while the guys are coming over, they're busy, I keep the roots wet in the water as well. So we are mixing all the soil with the compost, putting the tree in. And I have to keep the crown above the soil level. So I keep the tree right where the soil level is. And then lean the tree a little bit into the wind. So the wind usually comes from this way. And crown, there you go, up above the soil. Time for another load. It's really hard to manage all these different varieties because they have to go into the correct row. So I'm really doing my best to actually keep them in sync so we go in order. But sometimes I can't find the tree or it's in the middle of the bin. So I have to skip that row, go to the next row, the trees that I can find, and then come back to that row. The roots of these trees are really big. Some are actually small, so they fit in a 5-gallon bucket. But most of them don't fit in the 5-gallon bucket. So I had to grab these big, large trash cans. I had 2, and then I got 2 more from my neighbor because I actually planned on using these 5-gallon buckets. I got 10 of them, and they're no use. So we are taking the soil from the side, mixing it really well. All right, go for it. Alrighty.
This is good, man.
I planted like 20 trees over there. The tree is in. Well, this is how we are planting the trees. And you can see that the water is oozing out. So this whole hole is filled with water, and the tree has water until I put the drip line in. Now if you have heavy soil or really tough ground, it is recommended to dig square holes to plant your trees. However, that's true if you have potted plants and the roots are already bound to the pot. You know, they go around in a circle. So it's a really good idea to actually make a square hole so that the roots don't keep going around in a circle, that they find a definitive edge and they break through it and the roots keep growing. However, all of these are bare root trees and we've already ripped the ground, dissed the ground is already very soft. So the roots are not going to have any problem growing into the ground right now. So for bare root trees, you don't really have to actually have square holes. You can have round holes, any kind of holes, and you can have holes, just big enough to bury the roots and add some compost in there to give the trees a little bit initial fertilizer for them to start up, and also for drainage as well. Some of these trees have already started budding. That's why I wanted to get these trees into the ground right away. Couple of these trees already have flowers. They are looking absolutely beautiful. The variety of fruit trees we are planting includes cherries, peaches, nectarines, apricot, pluots, and plums, and also have a row of pomegranate as well. And we are growing different varieties of peaches, cherries, and apricot to stagger the harvest time all throughout the summer. If you want to know more about all the varieties of fruit tree we are planting, check out the video when we order 500 fruit trees, and I cover all the varieties in detail in that video. I'll leave a link to the video in the description.
Truck is going in for a refill. I have a person who's my neighbor who's helping me, and he's been refilling the truck.
So I jerry-rigged a system here. I used one of the valves from my irrigation system and I put a PVC pipe up to the tank so we can fill the tank right near where we were planting a tree, so we don't have to go all the way back near the well.
Well, the truck is back in action.
One thing I could have really improved on is actually have a garbage can right in front of each one of the rows, and I can fill it with water and put the plants in the garbage can. That way I could have a lot more plants on the field, and sometimes when I'm going back there and grabbing the plants, it takes so much time to take the plants out, and these guys are waiting for me sometimes, so I don't want to be wasting time. So that's what I'm going to do next time, and that's what I'm learning from my mistake. We're almost nearing an end to planting all these trees. It was a great experience. It took a lot of hard work. These guys were working from 7 to 3:30. I was here working until 5:30, until the sun was down, to make sure everything is in order, make sure irrigation system is working, to make sure trees are planted right. So I was putting in 11 to 12 hours a day, every single day for past 5 days. So it's done. Finally, we're planting the last 2 rows. It's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's been a great sense of accomplishment. We're gonna have 500 fruit trees, and they're gonna create so much fruit that all of you guys can come in and pick your own fruits and vegetables. The last tree has been planted. It has been an incredible experience to have planted these 3.5 acres. It gives you a great sense of accomplishment to actually build something at this scale. And some of these trees have already started budding. And I can't wait until all of these trees are filled with flowers and leaves. It'll take about 2 years for them to bear fruit. However, I should get a lot of growth this year, and I can't wait to have them grow big and tall and bear a lot of fruit. And you guys can come in and pick your own fruit. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another video.